I mean, we had a situation where we worked in a warehouse with a big door that the forklift would come in. Well, that's all very nice in July. But in December, you're working on precision measurement on tables and right next to a great big barn door. It's wide open and the wind is blowing in. And nobody in that shop has got the guts to put down their tools and walk over and shut the door, except me. And they all know, hey, Carl, the door's open. Like, you know, what, you got a broken leg or something? It's little things like that. The people are afraid. And the boss, he could care less. I mean, he's up in a mezzanine office, which is air conditioned. But in a non-union shop, you probably leave the door open. I worked in a non-union shop when I was in Utica before I worked for Bendix, and there were some, I won't even get into that, some real violations, and everybody's afraid to say anything, you know, for good reason. Because if you say something, you're a troublemaker and you're out of here, you know. Right. They don't like, even when they know, you know, well, all right, I'll give one more example. On the airplane, you install the body sections, put the wiring, tubing in, then you put the decorative panels over the top. So on the assembly line, I don't know the numbers, but let's say station 5, put in the wiring. Station 6, you put on the paneling. So they put in the wiring, quality control, not necessarily me, but others. There's a mistake in the wiring. There's a faulty section. Has to be taken out and replaced. The new part is being flown in from San Francisco. It'll be here the first thing tomorrow morning. However, this afternoon we'll move the plane down to the next station and put the panels on. I told the boss, look, they're going to have to replace the wiring. Oh yeah, I know that. So you're going to have them put the panels on this afternoon. Then Saturday, they're going to have what they call the Blue Streak crew come and take the panels off. And then Sunday, they'll put the wiring in and put the panels back on again. Now you're paying time and a half and then double time. You'll be money ahead if you just gave this crew, the panel crew, the afternoon off. Oh, no way, Jose, are you crazy? Put the panels on. I mean, I'm just an employee, you know. This is a suggestion. I can't be adamant, I mean, but I've seen this kind of thing, you know. They don't want to hear it from the average worker. And what's so radical? I mean, the boss is there. I show him, and he agrees with me. Yes, this wire section has to be replaced. I said, well, to put the panels are not made to take off and on, you know. They're fiber and they're delicate, and you got to be really careful when you start taking stuff apart. All you get is crack one panel, and then you got another big repair job, you know. So just give you even don't have to give them the afternoon off. Just give them brooms and have them go sweep up if it goes against your grain, you know, to give somebody a day off because you have to pay them. Anyway, that kind of thing is in my opinion, endemic. I've seen others the same type of stuff happening, but then with safety violations, you know, I've seen a guy climb up a ladder under a wing and knock his head against the wing, fall on the cement floor, big cut on his arm, take masking tape off, wrap it up. I'm telling him, hey guy, you know, we have a nurse here. She's a member of the union. He says, go to the nurse's office. He said, well, I got to finish this job up here. I'm on a bar chart, you know, timed. And this is our own members. And the supervisor's standing there like, you know, I'm crippling his operation because we have had people die from blood poisoning, from cutting their arm, a little cut here, a little there. I don't know how long it takes to troop way over to the nurse's office and to have her put some antiseptic on it and then wrap it with a real bandage and troop all the way back, but that's what we want them to do. And I had to talk to a number of supervisors and superintendents about it, and they don't like to hear it, you know. Who's running this shop? I've heard that a dozen times, you know. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not dumb. I try to be diplomatic, you know. You gotta but sometimes you have to bite your tongue a little bit. So, I mean, to me, being able to do that, that's what a union does. I mean, it's all very well, I mean, to get a pay raise, that's great. I'm for that. But the whole concept that you are worth, your opinion is worth something, and you ought to be able to put your input in there without being fired, that's worth something. And it's worth a hell of a lot more than 2 hours of pay. So that's another thing. We used to have to vote on the dues increase.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that is as popular as you can imagine. And people were throwing rocks and yelling and screaming. So, and once again, Jerry Dargis, well, I was president, he was secretary, that's why he tied it. So we wrote a resolution for the Grand Lodge to have the dues based on an hour's pay. Well, we did the chart and all that, and it wouldn't work, you know. So I said, well, why not base it on 2 hours pay? And that worked pretty good. So the dues they went to the Grand Lodge to have the dues based on 2 hours pay plus $1.10. For some reason, they had a dollar magic number, but that passed. So then it was passed at the Grand Lodge convention, so we didn't have to go to the members. Well, in principle, I was in favor of going to the members, but in practice, I have to admit that it worked out better this way. So now, and the rationale is there. If the pay goes up, you're based on 2 hours pay, it seems reasonable to me. And it worked. That's the bottom line. It does work. Our union is funded. And you got to be funded. You got to have money to do things. And our union, in my opinion, over the years, we have delivered. We have delivered for the members. Different presidents, different secretaries, different district councils. But that whole concept of people are participating and making the decisions that impact them the most. So, yeah.
I didn't realize that
My soapbox.
proposal came from here.
Local F.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. Well, Carl, thanks so much. You've had a great career.
Yeah. Hopefully not over yet. You know,
Right, exactly. But
I
thanks
tell
for everything you've done.
Connie is editor of our Aero Mechanic, and I tell her that if my picture's in the paper, then that way if I want to run for office, you know, I have the publicity.
Okay, well, thank you, Carl.
Okay, well, yeah, I
We
enjoyed it. I
appreciate
enjoyed it.
talking
Yeah.
to you.
I didn't even tell you all the good stuff yet.
That's for another day.
Yeah.